So today we're talking about discriminant or properties of discriminant in quadratics.
हाँ
This
मिस्टर पिछला वाला था वो कंप्लीटिंग स्क्वायर फॉर्म वाला उसके हमने 4 क्वेश्चंस किए थे उसके बस वही करने थे हमने
हाँ, क्योंकि they were more or less the same. So मैंने बीच बीच में से questions दिए थे, if you remember.
जी हाँ
ठीक
जी
है, वो concept was the same in almost every question.
ओके
अच्छा जी, so today we're talking about properties of the discriminant in a quadratic equation. So a general form of a quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c equals 0, right? And the discriminant is what? B square minus 4ac. This comes from the quadratic formula. When we use quadratic formula to solve a quadratic equation, that is x equals minus b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Now this here is called the discriminant. This is the discriminant, right? So the value of this discriminant tells us how many solutions are there in a quadratic equation. So let me give you a quadratic equation first. Here's the quadratic equation: x square plus 2x minus 3. What is the value of the discriminant here? What is the discriminant again? B square minus 4ac. So a here is 1, b here is 2, and c here is minus 3. So b square minus 4ac would be 2 square minus 4 times 1 times minus,
16
sorry,
16
16. ठीक है. So the discriminant is 16. So it's a positive value. So now let's enter it in the quadratic formula, which is x equals minus b, which is going to be minus 2 plus minus square root of 16 divided by 2 times 1. So how many answers are we going to get?
मिस 2
Two answers. We're going to get two answers. And what are the values of those answers? What are the solutions, or what are the roots of the quadratic equation? Minus 2 plus 4 divided by 2. One is 1. And the other one is minus 2 minus 4 divided by 2, which is 9.
-3
So we got two answers of the quadratic equation, or we got two roots of the quadratic equation, or we got two solutions of the quadratic equation. And why did we get two solutions? Because the discriminant was a positive value greater than 0. So that means that when b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, then we have two real and distinct roots. Distinct का मतलब है कि both roots have different value. One is 1 and the other one is not 1 again. It's minus 3. So they're real values. Real means that we did not get a math error when we were finding it in the calculator. So they're two real roots and they're both distinct. They are two different values. So when the discriminant is greater than 0, then we get two distinct roots. And if I sketch this on coordinate axis, then this is what it means. That you get a U shape or whatever, an inverted U-shaped curve, and it intersects the x-axis at 2 points. So that's why you got two solutions. One was minus 3 and one was 1. Graph थोड़ा गलत हो गया, थोड़ा leftwards होना चाहिए इस तरह. So one answer of x is 1 and the other answer of x is minus 3. Because the curve will cut the x-axis at 2 points because the discriminant is positive. Okay, now let's take a look at another equation. Which is 16x square minus 8x plus 1. Okay. So A is 16, B is -8, and C is 1. Let's start with discriminant B square minus 4AC. So -8 whole square minus 4 times 16 times 1. What is the value of the discriminant?
मुझे इसकी 0 आ रही है.
Yes, the discriminant would be 0. So if the discriminant is 0, then the quadratic formula is x equals minus b, which would be minus minus 8, plus minus square root of 0 divided by 2a. Now, how many answers will we get?
मिस एक ही आंसर आएगा या
हाँ,
नहीं आएगा?
एग्जैक्ट एक ही आंसर आएगा ना, क्योंकि प्लस माइनस वाली टर्म 0 हो गई. So your answer would
यस.
be just 8 upon what is that?
1/4.
32, which is 1 by 4. Okay. So it's 1 by 4 after completely solving it, simplifying it. So now you got only one answer. And why is that? Because the discriminant was equals to 0. So that means that when b square minus 4ac is equals to 0, when b square minus 4ac is equals to 0, then we get repeated roots. Real, it is still a real value because we did not get a math error in the calculator. Real and repeated roots. So graphically, it means that there is just one answer of x. So let's say it's here, 1 by 4. So the curve would look like this. It will only intersect the x-axis at one point, 1 by 4, and it won't have any other point of intersection on the x-axis. That is why there is actually one answer, but it is, since it's a quadratic equation, we say that the answers are repeated. So both the answers, both the values of x are 1 by 4. The first one is also 1 by 4, and the second one is also 1 by 4. That's why we're not saying it's a single root. It is repeated roots. You get both the answers of x are the same. Okay, that was the case when the discriminant is equals to 0. Okay, let's take a look at another case, which is x square plus 2x plus 5 equals to 0. Okay. So A is 1, B is 2, C is 5, B square minus 4, AC is the discriminant, 4
It's
minus
-16.
20, which is -60. So now let's try entering it in the quadratic formula. X equals minus b plus minus square root minus 16 divided by 2a. What are the two answers of x? Or what are the two?
मिस -16 का स्क्वायर रूट ले सकते हैं?
नहीं ले सकते. The
तो मिस
calculator
इसका
will say
एक
math
आंसर
error.
आएगा.
No, you won't get
और
any
मिस
answer. It'll say math
ये
error.
रियल नहीं होगा ना?
क्या होगा?
मुझे इसका कोई आंसर नहीं आएगा ना?
नहीं होगा. So you'll write that when discriminant is less than 0, b square minus 4ac is less than 0, then we have no solution, no real solution. And graphically, it means that the curve is not going to cut the x-axis. It doesn't touch the x-axis, so there's no solution, no answer. Okay. There's another case in which the question just mentions real roots. When the question mentions real roots, real root or roots, it does not, it's not a real solution kar dete. So when the question says real solution, that means it could be this solution where you get 2 points of intersection, or it could be this case where you have a single point of intersection. So when it's not certain whether there are two solutions of the quadratic equation or a single solution of the quadratic equation, then you say that the discriminant is greater than equals to 0. It could be greater than 0, giving us two answers, or it could be equals to 0, giving us only one answer or two repeated answers. So ऐसा भी case आ जाता है जिधर you have to write greater than equals, जहाँ पे question में clarity नहीं है कि 2 points of intersection है या single point of intersection. So then you have to write greater than equals to. Okay. Similarly, if we're solving two sets of simultaneous equation where one equation is quadratic and the other one is linear, then there's a case where when you solve it simultaneously, you get two answers because there are 2 points of intersection. Then there's a case where there is just 1 point of intersection where it's just tangent to the curve. And then there's a case where there's no point of intersection. So can you tell me which discriminant property is applicable in which case? The first case where there are 2 points of intersection.
Miss B square minus 4AC is greater than 0.
Very good. Here B square minus 4AC is greater than 0 because you'll get two answers of the simultaneous equations. Okay. What about the second case?
Miss B square minus 4AC is equals to 0.
Yes, because there's only one answer. And the third one is?
B square minus 4AC is less than 0.
Yes, because there's no solution. There's no point of intersection between the curve and the line. Okay. I think we're ready to start the worksheet questions from the discriminant worksheet. Okay. Find the values of P. Find the values of P for which this equation has repeated roots. Repeated roots क्या होता था? If a quadratic
जब एक वैल्यू आती है.
Exactly. There's only one solution of the quadratic equation. And
B
what is
square minus 4AC is equals to 0.
Exactly. This is the case where B square minus 4AC is equals to 0. So B in our question is minus 6 whole square minus 4. A is P and C is P as well, is equals to 0. So we have 36 equals 4P square. So 9 equals P square. So P equals plus minus 3. That should be the answer for question. Let me know when you're done. Take it. Now let's look at question. Question number 3. There is no real value of x for which mx square plus 8m plus m is equals to 6. Find m. Okay. There's no real value of x का क्या मतलब है? Which case is this?
मिस यहाँ पे कोई पॉइंट इंटरसेक्ट नहीं हो रहा.
ठीक है, right. There's no real solution. So, in case of discriminant, this would be b square minus 4ac is less than 0.
Yes.
Okay. So, rearrange the quadratic equation mx square plus 8x plus m minus 6 equals to 0. Now a is m, b is 8, and c is m minus 6. There would be 8 square minus 4 times m times c is m minus 6 and less than 0. Okay. Let's solve this quadratic equation. We have 64 minus 4m
4m
square plus
24.
24m less than 0. So we have, I'm going to bring the negative 4m square towards the right so that it becomes positive 4m square. 4m square minus 24m minus 64, and then we have 0 at this side. Divide both sides with 4 for simplification. So we have 6m here. And what is 64 divided by 4? 16. So this is the quadratic inequality. M square minus 6m minus 16 is greater than 0.
ये ग्रेटर देन 0 कैसे हो गया अब?
क्योंकि 0 साइड पे चला गया ना, ये देखो यहाँ से 0 उधर आ गया था, तो वो लेस देन वाली साइड पे आ गया, तो अब यहाँ पे
ओके
इक्वेशन आ गई. सो दैट इक्वेशन इज नाउ बिगर देन 0. ठीक है, क्योंकि यहाँ -4m स्क्वायर था ना, तो उसको पॉजिटिव करना था. सो वी मूव्ड इट टुवर्ड्स द अदर साइड.
ओके.
ठीक है. Okay, now let's see if we can get the factorized form from the calculator. A is 1, B is -6, C is -16. So yes, when I solve this in the calculator, it's giving me M equals 8 and M equals -2. Now I'm going to send 8 to the other side, M minus 8 bracket, and -2 to the other side, M plus 2 in the bracket, or you do proper factorization like you learned in O levels, and greater than 0 or equals to 0 here, because we're finding critical values first or the roots first. So the answers are 8 and -2. Now let's sketch it. -2 would be here, 8 would be here. The curve would look like this. And again, it says greater than 0. So greater than 0 means this region and this region. Can you now give me the final answers in terms of M?
Miss, x is greater than 8.
M is greater than 8 and
Or miss, m is smaller than -2.
yes, very good. M is less than -2. So these are the two sets of values of M for question number 3. Okay. Just a second. Question number 4. Question 4 is find the equation 2x square plus 4x plus 2 equals p times x plus 3 has two distinct real roots. Find the range of values of p. Okay. Two distinct real root means two different answers of the quadratic equation. That means this is what the curve looks like. It has two solutions. And what is the property of discriminant when a quadratic equation has two solutions?
If b square minus 4ac
Hmm.
is
Is
greater than 0. Greater than 0.
okay. Now we need to figure out what is B, A, and C. For that, we need equals to 0 on one side. So let's solve it. 2x squared plus 4x plus 2 minus px minus 3p equals 0. So 2x squared plus 4x plus 2 minus px minus 3p. So 2x squared plus bracket 4 minus p bracket x plus 2 minus 3p equals to 0. Since there were two values of x, so we had to take x common. So the coefficient of x is 4 minus p. And there are also two constant terms, 2 minus 3p. So a is 2, b is 4 minus p, and c is 2 minus 3p. So the discriminant is b square minus 4ac greater than 0. P is 4 minus p whole square minus 4 times 2 times 2 minus 3p is greater than 0. So 16 minus 2ab is 8p plus p square minus 8 into 2, 16 plus 8 into 3, 24, p greater than 0. So p square and then 24 minus 8 is plus 16. And then 16 and minus 16 gets eliminated, greater than 0. Plus 16p is sorry. This is 16. Okay. Now I'm going to first treat it like an equals to sign so that we first find the solution without having to deal with the inequality sign. Equals to 0. P is common. P plus 16 equals to 0. So we have P equals 0 and P equals minus 16. So if I sketch it, this is one solution 0 and this is the other solution minus 16, and the curve would go like this. And again, the inequality is greater than 0. That means this region is the answer, this region is the answer. What are the values of P in these two regions? Here and here.
P greater than 0
Yes. And
and P is smaller than negative 16.
that's correct. So these are the two sets of points. P is greater than 0, P is less than minus 16. Oh. Question 5. Can I clear this?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So question number 5. Given that the line y equals c minus 3x does not intersect the curve xy equals 3, find the range of values of c. given that the line y is equals to c minus 3x does not intersect with the curve. So it is case of simultaneous equations where a curve and a line, they do not intersect. What is the property of discriminant in this case?
B square minus 4AC is equal to 0.
वो तो होता है जब वन सोल्यूशन एग्जिस्ट कर रहा हो, इनकी तो इंटरसेक्शन
अच्छा
हो ही
मिस,
नहीं।
अच्छा, इस लेस देन 0 मुझे लगा ये जो लाइन है इस पे कोऑर्डिनेट आ रहा है x का।
हाँ, नहीं नहीं, इनका आपस में कोई इंटरसेक्शन नहीं है ना, so इस वजह से
ठीक है।
they are not intersecting, so there is no solution. So b square minus 4ac is less than 0. Now we'll first solve these equations simultaneously. So what I'll do, I will replace the y with c minus 3x. X times c minus 3x equals 3. So cx minus 3x square equals 3. 0 equals 3x square minus cx plus 3. A is 3, B is minus c, and c is 3. So b square minus 4ac is less than 0. So minus c whole square minus 4 times 3 times 3 is less than 0. So c square minus 36
36.
is less than 0. So let's first treat it as an equals to sign and get our answers. So c square minus 36 equals 0. C square equals 36. C equals plus minus 6. So one answer is 6, the other answer is minus 6. The curve will look like this. And the inequality this time is less than 0. Less than 0 is this part of the curve. So what are the values of x in this region?
Miss, x less than 6,
And
x is greater than -6.
x नहीं था, c था. Sorry, the c है ना हमारी inequalities question. So
Hmm.
c is
Yes.
less than 6. C is between 6 and minus 6 basically. This would be the answer. Question 6. Question 6. Find the values of c for which equation 4x square minus c plus 2 times x plus c equals 1 has equal roots. Equal roots means two same
B
roots.
square minus 4ac is equal to 0.
Yes, exactly. When a quadratic equation has equal roots means that there is only one repeated root. One root which is written twice, called repeated roots. Okay, so let's first fix the quadratic equation. We should have 0 at one end. So I'm going to bring 1 to this side. So the constant is now c minus 1 equals to 0. A is 4. B is minus c plus 2. Coefficient is minus. And c is c minus 1. So b square minus 4ac equals 0 करना है. So minus c plus 2 whole square. B square minus 4a C is equals to 0. When you square a negative value, it becomes a positive value, so you can just ignore this negative. Positive ही हो जाएगा. C plus 2 whole square is a square plus 2ab plus b square, a square plus 2ab plus b square minus a square plus 2ab plus b square. So plus 4.
प्लस
Plus 4 minus 16c plus 16 equals to 0. So we have c square minus 12c plus 20 equals 0. I'm going to try and solve this using factorization in my calculator. A is 1, B is minus 12, C is 20. So the answers are C equals 10 and C equals to 2. So we go one step back, C minus 10 and C minus 2 equals 0. So these are the answers. कोई इस क्वेश्चन में inequality नहीं थी, बस equals to 0 ही था. Okay. Okay. Can I ask you to
मिस
do last 4 questions as homework? या एक दो करा
मिस
दूं
एक दिन में
एक दिन में तब
मिस
ऐसे ही
एक और
एक
मिस
और
एक
करा.
और कर लेते हैं. मिस
हम्म,
एक बात सुने. मिस
हम्म.
ये जब हम पॉइंट्स को प्लॉट करेंगे 10 और 2 को, तो मिस ये तो डिफरेंट जगहों पे आएंगे, तो हमारे पास तो दो वो आ जाएंगे.
नहीं नहीं, वो तो हम अपना फाइनल सोल्यूशन निकालने के लिए काम करते हैं ना. वो काम तो हम इसलिए करते हैं जब क्वाड्रेटिक इनइक्वालिटी हो. फिर मैं आपको कहती कि एक 2 है सोल्यूशन, 2 इस पर्टिकुलर क्वाड्रेटिक सोल्यूशन इसका, ओरिजिनल वाले का नहीं, ठीक है, इसका. तो उसके लिए हम ये करते हैं कि एक आंसर 2 आ रहा है और एक आंसर 10 आ रहा है, तो यू 2 और 10 स्केच कर लिया. और फिर हम देखते अगर इनइक्वालिटी होती, तो फिर अगर हमारा ग्रेटर देन 0 होता तो हम कहते हैं कि ये C इज ग्रेटर देन 10 एंड C इज लेस देन 2. या फिर हम कहते हैं कि अगर लेस देन 0 होता तो वी वुड हैव सेड C इज बिटवीन 10 एंड 2.
तो जब इज इक्वल टू 0 है, मतलब फिर तब ये ग्राफ नहीं बनेगा.
तब ग्राफ बनाने की जरूरत ही नहीं होती, आपके पास पहले ही आंसर आ गए हैं, क्योंकि शुरू से ही इक्वल्स टू इक्वल्स टू इक्वल्स टू चल रहा था, तो आपका फाइनल आंसर भी इक्वल्स टू समथिंग होगा, नॉट ग्रेटर देन और लेस देन. ठीक है, वो हम करते हैं व्हेन वी आर सॉल्विंग क्वाड्रेटिक इनइक्वालिटी. ठीक है. सो ये क्वेश्चन
सही
ये
है.
है कि व्हेन यू हैव दीज टू वैल्यूज इंस्टेड ऑफ सी, तो फिर इस क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन को अगर आप प्लॉट करोगे तो यहाँ खाली एक जगह कट करे. ठीक है, दैट इज द क्वेश्चन. कि जब C की ये वैल्यूज इधर अगर आप सब्स्टिट्यूट करते हो, या 10 और या फिर 2, और फिर उस क्वाड्रेटिक कर्व को स्केच करोगे तो वो खाली 1 पॉइंट पे कटते थे. ठीक है.
ठीक है.
ओके, लेट्स डू वन मोर एंड देन you'll do the last 3 as homework. तो होमवर्क से ही समझ आती है कि हमें ये टॉपिक आया है या नहीं. क्वेश्चन 7. Okay. This line does not intersect this curve. Find the values of K. Yes, what are the properties of discriminant here? The line does not intersect the curve. There's a curve, there's a line, they do not intersect each other.
मिस
Maybe,
बी स्क्वायर माइनस 4ac इज लेस देन 0.
yes, there's no solution of the quadratic equation. Okay, so these are two sets of equations. So first they need to be merged into one. Simultaneously इनको solve करना है. So I'm going to write 2k minus x equals x minus 1 whole square plus k. दोनों y's को equate कर दिया. So we have 2k minus x equals a square minus 2ab plus b square plus k. So I'm writing 0 here, and x square minus 2x plus x plus 1 plus k minus 2k. Plus 1 plus k and minus 2k. So we have 0 equals x square minus x plus 1 minus k. X square minus x plus 1 minus k. Okay. So a is 1, b is minus 1, c is 1 minus k. Okay. So b square is minus 1 whole square minus 4, a is 1, and c is 1 minus k, less than 0. So that is 1 minus 4 plus 4k is less than 0. ये तो quadratic equation बनी ही नहीं. So we have 4k is less than 3 and k is less than 3 upon 4. Just a second.
Okay, miss.
Okay. So let me check the answer from the back. K is less than 3 by 4. That is correct. Okay, that was question number 7. Now you'll do 8, 9, 10 as homework. Okay?
Okay, miss. सही है.
Okay, take care. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Allah Hafiz.